Sweet. So I'm here with Jerremy Newsome, the world's best financial coach. Jeremy, I met you almost 2 years ago now in Tampa at an event. And from that event, there were a lot of cool things that happened, especially with where I was at in my journey. And one of the first things I did when I got home was I bought your book, Money Grows on Trees. And then I bought it for a bunch of other people because the line "Money Grows on Trees," I just thought it was kind of like a very nice slogan or like counter
yeah,
or like counter positioning, right? Where you're like, everybody tells you it doesn't, it does. And then you broke down the fact that you're like, money is paper, and where does paper come from? And I was like, oh my gosh, like he's fucking right. And it was such a like obvious, like of course moment. And I'd love to hear how writing that book has kind of shaped your journey and like what your first real financial aha moment was that made you realize that everything you thought you knew was not true.
Yeah, dude, that's so good. I'll start with the second one first. So the big aha moment was I worked at Nationwide Insurance at the time, so I was just a little bit over 18, so almost 18 years ago. And I logged into Google and I typed in which silver stock to buy. I had heard that silver was going up on the news. And the first stock that pulled up was First Majestic Silver, ticker symbol AG, which is the symbol of silver in the periodic table. So the company was SEO optimized. And I had $9,000 in my 401k at the time. And I was going to school for a finance degree. So I was going to school for it at the University of Florida, Warrington College of Business, top 10 business school in the nation for public schools, right? D1 schools. And I was not learning anything about the market, investing, day trading, options. Like that's what I was really interested in at the time. So I didn't learn anything about it, was kind of feeling frustrated, read a 401k packet that someone dropped off at my desk, read it cover to cover, learned that I could do what's called a self-directed 401k, started this self-directed 401k, and I pulled up First Majestic Silver. The stock was trading at $9 a share. So the math I did, Nicholas, was $9 divided by $9,000 divided by 9. So how much money I had divided by the stock price. And that came up with 1,000 shares. Pretty easy math, second grade math. One of my quotes, health is second grade math repeated consistently. I get that. I buy 1,000 shares. The stock goes up $3 in like 3 or 4 days. What's 1,000 times 3?
3,000.
Yeah, you got it, bro. So 3,000. So I just made $3,000 in like 3 days. The problem with that was that's more than I made in a month at work at the time. And that, my man, was a huge, oh my gosh, like paradigm shift. I knew you could make money in the markets. I didn't know that I could make money in the market. And number one, number two, I didn't know that you could make a lot of money. I thought $3,000 was a lot of money. And I mean, it is like, that's most people's mortgages or like rent or Airbnb or whatever for a month. Like that's a substantial amount of money. And especially for an 18-year-old who 9 years prior to that felt air conditioning for the first time ever in a house, growing up super poor in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. That was crazy to me. So I then took that number, $3,000, and I multiplied it times 200 days a year. Cause I was like, what if I do this every 2 or 3 days? And 3,000 times 200 days a year is $600,000. And that was oh my gosh, this is going to change my life. That was kind of how it all started. And that's what put me on the trajectory to make about $1.2 million in the next year and then lose it all in like a week. That was a fun journey. And I lost all the money, $1.2 million on my 21st birthday, right around that time. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And
welcome to adulthood, huh?
That's right, dog. Yeah, big time. Got thrown right in. So the book journey was just an accident, really, because I was in an Uber talking to the Uber driver, and he was telling me about all the bills that he had. And he told me that he wanted to day trade Forex. And at the time, at this stage of my life, this is 2016, 2017, I'm okay at trading. I know how to do it. I'm making some really good money. I bought a lot of Bitcoin a couple years before that, a year and a half before that. And I knew that Forex wasn't the way to go. Day trading Forex probably wasn't the way to go for this particular gentleman, because he was also like $20,000 in debt. He came here in the States from the Ivory Coast and had a bunch of predatory loans that he filled out. A lot of people fill out predatory loans, and he got accepted for these, and he had like $20,000 with high interest rate. I was like, listen, you got to pay those off first before you start trading or before you start investing. He's like, I can't just pay off my debt, bro. What do you think? Money just grows on trees. And I was like, well, of course it does. But I had never said that out loud ever. So I had to like explain it to him, and it was like this channeling work. It just came to me. And as I was explaining it to him, I was like, dang, that's kind of really true. Like it is. I mean, it's everywhere. Avocado, banana, watermelon doesn't grow in a tree, it grows on a vine. But how many things do you have in vine? You have bushes, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. You got pecans, walnuts, Brazilian nuts, peanuts. And then, yeah, to your point, like you said, man, like, dude, money's made out of paper. So the whole thing just started coming to me very, very quickly. I was like, I just got to start writing this down. And it was all an accident. I just started putting it together and just chipping away. And I wrote that book in like a month, bro. It happened so fast because I loved the material. It was given to me. And I just was very excited to write it. And it changed my entire life, because the whole process of doing it, and what most people will tell you, I'm sure you've heard this a million times in your other guests that you've interviewed, like writing books, dude, it's like this nostalgic process of like inner healing, right? Because you have to pull out your thoughts, and you have to be introspective and really go back in time to piece it together and come up with the why and the where and the when. And as you're doing that, you're removing small little particles of like disbelief and ideas and blockages and your own limiting beliefs, and you're creating something that can last forever.
Yeah, it's very interesting how deep the programming runs. Of most people are in this race to the bottom. They're like, I need to just keep cutting, keep cutting, keep cutting. One of my aha moments was somebody said, like, okay, well, if $500,000 appeared in your bank account tomorrow, you wouldn't have these worries as much, would you? And I was like, well, no. He's like, okay, well, $100,000 isn't a limit. You can go above to $1 million, 2 million, 10 million, 100 million. Zero, you can't go below. Like, yeah, okay, you get in debt, but that's not an amount of money. That's the amount you owe people. Like, there's only so much room to the bottom. There's so much more room to. I was like, fuck, you're right. Like, now I just got to figure out how I go upward, because I've been like just facing the floor the entire time.
Yes, precisely. It is a mindset shift, dude. Like, again, we can only cut so much. We all have expenses. If you get married, you have kids, you have a house, you have food. Like, you got to do something. You got to eat somewhere. And then if you're going to give to other people, that costs money. In fact, everything costs time or energy or money. Those are the only three things you can ever spend. You literally can't spend anything else. You have to spend time or money or energy. And you're going to be spending all three of them. And so realistically, my thought is like, okay, well, if you spend those things, let's go create more of it. And if you're creating more money, you can create more energy. And if you can create more energy, you can create more time.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that really stuck out from the event that I met you at was I was just going on my eat, pray, love journey, for lack of a better term. You know, I was learning,
cool.
I was learning how to be a hippie at the time. I was like, my agency was doing multi six figures, and on the outside it looked great, but on the inside everything was just falling apart. Like, I was in the hospital multiple times. I was super anxious all the time. I moved across the country. And
really?
So
Wow.
Like I went to the hospital for pain in a certain part that only men have. And then after like tracing it back, I realized that like, oh, this is from my lifestyle and like my mindset and the anxiety I'm living with every day. And like, that was a huge wake up call.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I literally called one of my friends who had testicular cancer, and I was like, hey, can we talk? And I pick up, he goes, so what's wrong with your balls? I'm like, what? He's like, do you know how many guys just call me randomly? Like, hey, you know, do you want to catch up? And so not to, obviously, no, I don't want to make you uncomfortable or anything, but just like this realization of like, I had to go to the hospital. I got ultrasounds, and everybody told me the same thing. But like, you're fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like almost passing out, like about to vomit, like can't walk straight, getting dizzy. And so when I started meditating and journaling, I started like peeling back the layers. I'm like, oh, like no wonder I made all this money and then crashed and burned and like got in all this debt and was super anxious all the time. And my life was just on fire. I was making like 20K a month American at one point, 22K a month American, which in Canadian is like 30K. And I got like 30 to 50K in debt. And a lot of people are like, how the fuck does that happen? I'm like, great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much time do you have? So when I was at that event with you, I had done a lot of like I'd been meditating and journaling. I think for at least 100 days in a row. I had been on retreats. I had started doing fasting. Like I went into the woods with my buddies and fasted and did a bunch of breath work. And so when you got everybody to do breath work, I was so excited, even though I could feel the entire room just like clench. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. So I'd love to hear a bit more about like what got you into that side of abundance and wealth and the frequency of money outside of just like I can trade stocks and I can put money into the market and I can make money off.
Yeah, dude. What was that moment for me? That's a great question. I think I ultimately believe that a lot of it was from the I did a meditation retreat in 2017. So in 2017, I got rich for the fourth time. So I lost $1.2 million on my 21st birthday, and I lost a couple of other millions of dollars in other random, insane, just crazy freak accidents. And so in 2015, I had bought a bunch of Bitcoin and it kind of went all in. I was like, all right, well, let's see if it works. And 2017, it worked out. I mean, I had Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like my cost basis on Ethereum was $11. Yeah, so I super lucky, super good timing. I held a lot of it and sold most of it in 2017 for tens of millions of dollars. And so I was like, okay, I think I got it. The big change, Nick, was every other time before, I said to myself, man, I'm amazing. Look how cool I am. I'm the best. Just did all this. And in 2017, I said, thank you. And I recognized that difference. I didn't know who I was thanking because me and God didn't hang out at the time, but I definitely was like, thank you to whatever this is, someone other than me. And that's you going outside of yourself to just create gratitude, right? That was the shift for me because I realized after I made some money, I was like, okay, I've made money in the past. Making money is one thing, keeping it is an entirely different thing. And I recognize that because I was like, I'm the problem. Taylor Swift wrote her song about me. I was like, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. That's how I felt. Okay, this is a me thing. I am the common denominator in all this money that keep getting lost. In 2017, 2018, I just said yes to everything that came across my desk. Any type of like healing, coaching, package, program, opportunity, event. I said yes to everything. Number one, because I had enough money to buy them. And then number two, I was interested to figure out how to keep it. And that's what I would ask everybody. Like, how do I keep the money? Hey, I just made some money. How do I keep it? Hey, I made some money. How do I keep it? And that's what I asked every single coach. And one of the people that taught me, his name was Chuck March, and his wife's name was Linnea. Cute little older couple in middle of nowhere, Maryland. And they invited me to a meditation retreat, my man. Did a meditation retreat for 6 days with them in the middle of nowhere, Maryland. And again, I said yes because I was just saying yes to everything. And we were meditating like 10 hours a day, which is a lot, freaking a lot. And I realized I still remember how good I slept at one of these nights. I mean, I went to bed at like 7:30 and woke up at 7 a.m. Pure perfect dreaming. Like I was asleep, dude. No pills. Like previously, I'd always have a sleeping pill, melatonin, alcohol, whatever would help me fall asleep. Right. I just felt so much peace. I was like, okay, there's something here. And that was definitely a big shift, man. That was definitely one of the moments. That meditation retreat. I always give a big shout out to Chuck and Lene. I just love them both. I mean, they're in their like late 70s now, early 80s, but just incredible, kind, loving human beings. And I did in that moment. I was the only guy. It was me and like 13 women and Chuck, and it was just this embodiment of peace. And after that, the more I started talking to people, and after having that experience, when I would ask them, what is it that you want in life? They would say, oh, I want money. Like, yeah. You already have $400 million, whatever. What do you want after that? What do you actually want? And the most common answer, Nick, was either peace or freedom. Those are the two most common answers. And I started working through that. Like, okay, well, peace is free. So how come people don't have it? And that was the kind of the realization. So I started going down that path in 2017, did a bunch of plant-based medicine, uh, encountered an experience I didn't really like in October of 2018. So I went stone cold sober. Didn't even have honey, dude. I didn't have sugar, didn't have caffeine, didn't do anything for like 2.5 years. And then I ended up meeting my wife, and that changed everything. So it was like just a really cool path of divinity and purpose that started happening. And it all came from this realization that peace doesn't cost any amount of money. It is free. Freedom does cost something,
Mm-hmm.
but peace is 100% free.
Yeah.
So why don't people have peace when they have money? And that's what led me to like the breath work, the frequency work, the energy work, because me realizing that your frequency is what you do frequently. Most people worry about money all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And worrying is just praying for what you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're always finding yourself worrying, you're literally praying for more of what you don't want because you're thinking about it all the time, because your thoughts become things. Your words create your world. That's why it's the word universe, right? You are the verses you speak out loud. And as I started noticing this more and more and more with individuals, I started helping them shift and tweak and update and adjust that biochemical connection in their minds of how they can obtain peace, how they can obtain freedom, what the math is behind it, and how they can actually achieve it in trading or any other aspect of their life. And it just became this super cool journey that I'm on now.
Yeah. It's so interesting that like a lot of times the results we have in our life come down to like our courage to let ourselves want it or have it. Like I had this client who was, and he made like really good money for himself. He made about like 500K a year, did a couple flips every year, was cool, but he was really struggling in his marriage. And he told me, he's like, I know guys who have 10 times the wealth I do, and they would give it all up to be happy. And I thought that was really deep. So I presented this to my mentor, who's done a lot of shamanic work, meditation. He's gone very, very deep. Really cool guy. And I told him that, and he goes, "They can." Like, oh, I'd give it all up. Okay, then do it. And he's like, and the best part is they don't even have to. Like, if you're rich, just hire somebody. Like, go on a retreat, go meditate, like go do something. Like, but it's for some people, it's really difficult to allow themselves to want it and to give themselves permission to go there. So like, oh, it
Yes.
sounds nice. I'd give it all up. All right.
Right. Well, you've heard it probably a bunch on Instagram. So many people say, oh, I would die for my family. I would die for my kids. It's like, yeah, will you live for them? Like, will you really live? Like, will you go live a life that's remarkable and powerful and scary and impactful? Like, will you go do things that kind of terrify you? Because another thing that money can't buy is a finish line, right? That's why I love doing hard things. Money can buy happiness if you know where to shop, right? I've never seen anyone frown on a jet ski. Now, you might not be happy forever, but you can be happy momentarily, and that's okay, right? Momentary happiness, once you know what happiness feels like, it can be replicated. So, okay, I'm gonna go replicate this to some degree. You replicate the formula, but ultimately, money can't buy a finish line. And if you go and do hard things, you feel that accomplishment. And when you feel accomplishment, you feel like you actually did things. And for, again, to your point, very, very, very often, it is a belief system that individuals will have. Perfect example, Nick. If someone goes, time is limited. I only have a limited amount of time. Therefore, I need to work as much as humanly possible, right? To accomplish as much as humanly possible so I can give my kids a great life. There's like 12 beliefs in that sentence that most people believe. Okay, so first of all, let's work on time. Time is infinite, first and foremost. Like, it is non-ending. Just like the universe. When you go and look out at the stars and you look at space, that does not stop.
Yeah. No beginning, no end.
No beginning, no end. So let's take, if someone has a belief in God or universe or whatever big higher energy, generally the people I chat with, I'm like, so do you believe in a God that's infinite? And they're always like, yeah. Okay, so if you took a million, any type of unit, insert time unit, insert money unit, are you subtracting from anything? All right, so if you believe in infinity and you take $1 million out of infinity, how much is left?
Infinity.
Infinity. All right, it's never ending. So you can have as much as you want and you still haven't taken anything from the supply. So time is infinite if God is infinite. Therefore, our time as humans is limited. That is correct, right? No one's making it out alive. That's all the gray in my beard, right? We're all toast in like 100 years for sure. Like, it's going to happen. All right. We're all toasted 100 years. Our time is limited, but time is infinite. So what you're doing is you're actually creating a truth in your words. Because if you say to yourself, I do not have the time, you're lying to yourself. You're speaking a lie. And therefore, your subconscious doesn't trust you. If your subconscious, what you're created in the image of, if you're created in the image of infinite, and you're over here telling yourself that you're limited, your subconscious isn't going to believe you. And therefore, it's not going to trust you. And if it doesn't trust you, you're not going to have a lot of confidence. What you should say is, this is not a priority to me right now. Much better statement.
Yeah.
Much better statement. And if you say that now you're actually speaking the truth, because whatever it is you want to do, you have the time for it, and you probably have the resources for it. So here's another just great example. If you have a car that you want to buy, and you say to yourself, I don't have enough money for that car, but the car costs $40,000 and you have $50,000 in your bank account, you do have the money for it.
Technically, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a wise financial decision. Yeah. I'm simply saying that you do have the money for it. So if you say I don't have the money for something, but you do have the money for it, guess what you're doing again? You're lying to yourself. Again, how many times do people lie to themselves every single day? And the answer is all the time, very frequently. So instead, what you should say is, I do have the money for this, and I'm choosing not to purchase it because I don't think it's the greatest financial decision right now. Such a more powerful statement, dude. Like that's truth. Yeah. Now you get to embody who you are and what you actually know, and then you feel smarter and you do smarter things when you feel smarter.
Yeah.
So it's all a belief system about people stepping into their greatness, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And it empowers you to make better decisions, because then you're going, I'm choosing not to do this. Like, and that's okay. I don't have to.
Perfectly okay. I'm just going to choose not to. I could. I'm just going to say no.
Yeah, I thought that, so the event for me, the client extension event 2 years ago that we met, I was so interesting because I wasn't sure if I had the money. There it is. If I had the money to go, I'm sure I had just enough to pay for it in my account, but my debt was starting to build. I was feeling anxious, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. Like, I'm just going to go. Like, I know I need to do this in my mind, because in my mind, I had to do an agency and it had to look a certain way. And I loved Client Ascension. Incredible experience. I have nothing but great things to say.
Shout out to our boy Andre and Christian and the squad.
And Daniel and Dan. They're awesome. Incredible people. And so I went there, but I had this idea in my head of like, this is a really successful business event. Like it's very like masculine ambition, make money. And there were aspects of that, of course. Like they taught us how to make a lot of money. They're very, very good at that. And I was kind of going in there, but I kind of felt inferior based on my own meaning making process and my own stories, because I'm like, I'm in kind of debt and my business is kind of going up and down. Like everybody, there are all these winners and they're making so much money. And I remember the second day, it was after the VIP day, I sat down and you were sitting at the table I was at, and I was like, okay, there's this guy here wearing a shirt with a bunch of money on it. So I'm sure he's not somebody who purchased a ticket. That's just a tell. And somebody asked you, like, I don't know if they knew who you were, but they were asking you questions when I sat down, and they're like, what's your favorite book about wealth and finances? And you're like, You Were a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And I was like, that's a good book. Like, I'd read it like multiple times. I'm like, fuck, that is a good book. Like, that's so amazing. I'm so glad he said that. And you made us do breath work, and you got us to scream, and you were barefoot. And then afterwards I went up to talk to you. And I told you, and I kind of briefly gave you some notes on how I was learning how to have more fun and give myself what I needed. And you said something like, and I bet you're making way more money now. And I wasn't at the time. And I remember thinking, like, why am I not making more money if I'm having more fun? And so there was this disconnect of like, not that I'm doing it wrong, but like, I can do this a lot better. And then as you left, because you left a bit earlier than the whole thing ended, somebody called out to you, how much money did you make during the weekend? And I can't remember what amount you said, but you said some number that made my eyes pop out of my head. And I was like, it was just such an amazing contrast of like, I thought this event was going to be about like, and just push yourself harder, ambition, stack money. And there were aspects of like making more money. And that's very relevant. But it really stuck out in my mind of like, take care of yourself. Like this guy walked in barefoot. He's just wearing a money t-shirt. And I don't know, he made like $2 million this weekend or something ridiculous, and made us do breath work and just went on his merry way. It was almost like financial abundance Willy Wonka just walked in and then left and was like, hey, bye guys.
Yes, dude.
I'm out.
Yes, bro.
And it really like broke my brain as to like, there are so many different ways to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's so dope. Thank you, bro. If I remember correctly, that was, was it October of 2024? Yeah, I believe so. It was like October 2024, and that guy who asked was Taylor Welch,
Yes,
who is
yes,
actually one of my customers now.
yes.
Because he said, "Nah, dude, bullshit." Like he actually ended up messaging me on Instagram. He was like, "There's no way," and so I just sent him the receipts. He was like, "All right." So he started working with me. We chat like weekly now.
Taylor's another
Yeah,
incredible person. Another
yeah, incredible
absolutely
dude.
incredible.
Love me some Taylor Welch. Yeah, he is very, very aligned. I love his messaging. And anyway, the beauty of it, dude, is for me, I think a lot of it starts with we got to get past our fears. To your point, like you said earlier, you have to want it. And I also believe you have to know how to have it and how to actually get it. And then you simply have to put in whatever amount of energy or time or effort or money it would require to have that thing. So, great example. If someone said, making $1 million a year is unbelievable, there's no way I could ever do that personally. I would ask them, okay, what is a product or service or thing that you offer or sell or have created for the world? We're going to pick donuts, bro. Okay, we're going to say Nicholas makes donuts.
Awesome.
All right, so Nicholas is a donut salesman in Thailand. And you want to make $1 million US in a year. And if I said, okay, bro, how much does every single donut give you in net revenue? Not gross revenue, net. So the money that you can take home to your family. And if you said, well, bro, every single donut, $1. I go, okay, cool. So if you make $1 of net revenue and you want to make $1 million in a year, guess what you need to do? You need to sell
Sell
a million donuts.
Yeah, sell a million donuts.
That's it. Okay. Now we got, all right, sweet. We got some numbers. You got some million donuts. This is easy math. Okay. How many days are there in a year? There's 365. You're like, now here's where it gets fun. 365 days in a year. But if you said, man, do you want to work every single day for an entire year? Someone might go, no, I don't. No, I don't really want to. I want to work 300 days a year, which I don't think people know how much 65 days off a year is. That's a lot. I mean, that's 2 full months of not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So let's just say, for example, yeah, I want to work 300 days a year. Now you take 1 million and divide by 300. Okay. So now you need to sell 3,333 donuts per day. And you just start reverse engineering the math. All right. I want my donut shop to be open 8 hours during those days. All right. So 3,333 divided by 8 is 416. Now you get to be very compelling with your offer, with your information, and with your product, right? If you say to individuals, we are only selling 400 of Thailand's best donuts every single hour for only 8 hours, 300 days a year. And when you have these donuts, you're going to feel happier. You're going to feel richer. You're going to feel more prosperous. Your life will be better. And you truly will have an experience that you will never forget because it only is available for 8 hours every single day. Now you sell a better quality donut. You have a story, you have a messaging, and you have extreme clarity because you know exactly what you're trying to have. That is the thing that most people will never actually obtain. Wild, ridiculous certainty in their marketing, messaging, or positioning of whatever it is they're trying to create, whatever it is they're trying to offer. If someone couldn't have beautiful clarity of what they want to have and achieve and receive in this life, the universe will always conspire to give it to them.
Yeah. No, you're so right.
Give me one of your own examples. Let's do a coaching session, Nicholas. Tell me something that you want in life, and let me see how I can help you find it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, absolutely. A goal that I have for myself is I want to get my coaching business to 100K a month.
I love it. Okay, why 100,000? Why is that number meaningful to you?
That number to me is like kind of I get to do what I want no matter what without limits. Of course, like you can't do everything with 100K a month. Of course not. There's a limit on how much money you can spend given how much you're making. But especially with where I live and the kind of lifestyle I want with my wife, we want to have kids, I would love to fly my parents out because we're actually planning on leaving Canada's tax bracket. And so we can only spend a certain amount of time in Canada. We're both Canadian. We can only spend a certain amount of time in Canada out of the year. And so we're kind of decided we're very grateful to be from Canada, but we want to move on. And so I'd love to fly my parents out to see their grandkids, and I'd love to do so to fly them first class. I'd love to have my brothers come out. I'd love to invite my in-laws out. I'd love, if we want to travel, to just go places. I'd love to have multiple residencies and bank accounts set up to give us the most freedom and fluidity. And yeah, I would just love to have the highest quality of life for my wife, my kids, myself. And if we want to go do something, like, we can just go do it. And especially living in Thailand, I feel like 100K a month American is a very good number to really have that ability.
That is 100% accurate. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking very close notes of what it is that you're asking for, because here's the great news. Everything that you just mentioned, you can accomplish on like $30,000 to $40,000 a month.
True.
All of it. Unless, of course, you're flying out your parents back and forth, business class, every single month, which maybe you are.
Maybe.
But you're probably not. I mean, they want to probably hang out in Canada, and I don't know how long they're going to stay there. But everything that you just mentioned, because I know what financial freedom is, and for 99.9999999% of the world, $40,000 a month is financial freedom. Mm-hmm. I have a wife and kids, so I know how much they cost.
Yeah.
They do cost money, for sure. But how much does it cost to have a kid? It's actually really fun, right? People love having kiddos. It doesn't cost anything to make a child, right? $0. People do it all the time. Mm-hmm. And kids don't want your money. They want your time. So having a child, I mean, sure, you can give them the most luxurious life in the world, and that's fine. And generally, until they're like 7, they just want to play with you.
Yeah, just want to hang out.
They just want to hang out. So playing with you costs $0. Yeah. Now, again, you can buy them clothes and, food, and obviously all the things, but that costs hundreds of dollars a month, realistically. If you're balling out, sure, okay, it can cost a little bit more. Now, I love the number 100,000, but very often when I hear 100,000 a month or 1 million a year, again, very, very, very often that's an ego number. And the reason is just because it's a big, nice, round, easy number. If instead you said, and again, this can be a goal, something you can obtain, because if your soul attaches to it, you're going to get it a lot faster. Because 100,000 is incredible. And yes, dude, for sure. And it's possible, right? You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. We're both incredible human beings. So I know it can be done because I've done it. So I know you can do it. Mm-hmm. So now I know it's possible. So you're not asking for something that's never been done before. All right, $40,000 a month or $45,000 a month for sure would give you everything you just asked for, guaranteed. Because we could just go through the bills. What's an absolute? Or do you rent or own a house in Thailand?
I'm not allowed to own. I'm not allowed to own as a foreigner, so I'd have to rent.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So if you're getting like an Airbnb or something in Thailand, I mean, you can ball out of absolute control for like $5,000 a month.
Yeah, this house is 1,100 Canadian. This is like $700 or something.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, because I was in Bali for a month. I mean, I know it's not. Anyway,
it's comparable.
So you can ball out of absolute control for $5,000 a month. I mean, you got a sauna, a cold plunge, an ocean view, an infinity pool, a chef, a maid. Like, whoa, you have a life of luxury for $5,000 US a month in Thailand. Okay. So we got $5,000 a month. You fly out friends and family and whomever. That's about $10,000 a month, give or take, first class, or not even first class. Maybe they want to fly first class once, but $10,000 a month. So at 15, food, expenses. You want to be able to go anywhere you want to go, anywhere in the world. Again, so your flights, that's another 10, so 30, 35. Sprinkle an extra 5,000 on top for food, clothing, and cool experiences. $40,000 a month is insane money. Now, hey, I want to also save for retirement. I want to throw some money into a long-term account. I want to buy some stocks like Tesla, Google, Apple. I want to reinvest into my business and buy marketing so that it can become bigger, so I can influence more people.
Yeah. Go to Jerremy Newsome events. Hang out with them.
Go, dude, 100%, bro. Like, come to the island. Let's hop on the jet.
It's literally been on my to-do list for like a year and a half now.
let's do the planes, let's do all the things, right? Let's do the yachts. So fine, let's say $55,000 a month. $55,000 a month US. I mean, that's freedom for everyone on earth. For sure. And I'm not saying you can't make more than that. I'm just simply saying at 55,000, you can have everything that you want, dream, and aspire on your list. Anything above and beyond that, incredible. You just have to start asking for more things. Meaning, I also want to sponsor 15 children in an orphanage in Thailand every month.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, that's probably like $100 US or whatever. But like now you have to start asking above and beyond yourself, because there's no way that you can't outspend 55,000 on yourself. At that point, you have to just start going above and beyond for other people. All right. So we're going to say 55,000 US a month. What is your current coaching product and how much do you sell it for?
Yeah. So my current offer shell is like, I have a community, I have a 1-to-1 tier, and then I do like workshops at the bottom. So workshops are like very, very low ticket, like $19. Honestly, I'm just trying to do them for fun and like give back to people. The group right now is $350 a month. And then the 1-to-1 is $2,000 a month right now. They started off much lower, and I'm slowly increasing them just because I'm new to coaching.
Sure. Yeah, that seems super reasonable. So let's start with this $350 a month product. That needs to be your number one focus. Because guess how many people you need? You're not going to like this number. Guess how many people you need to make $55,000 a month with a $350 a month offer?
I can do the quick math on that, I think. Oh, yeah.
158 people. Like, let me make sure that's correct. That seems too small.
Yeah.
158 times 350. Oh, my God. There's no way that's accurate. I got to keep putting that in my calculator. That seems almost too small. That seems almost too achievable.
Yeah.
That seems almost too easy.
Well, I was just thinking about when you're like, hey, make $55K a month and you have like literally everything you want under the sun. And I'm like,
everything under the sun, bro.
Right now I'm at about like $5K a month American, give or take. This past month is 6.3K American. And I was like, sure, you could say like, oh, that's 1/11th. To me, I'm like, that sounds really close though. Like 1/11th, I'm not that far off. It's not that crazy. You know what I mean? To assume that.
No, dude, you're doing great. Yeah, you're doing incredible. So think about it. 160 people. Okay, 160 people. That's it. 160 citizens on this planet paying you $350 a month is $56,000 US every single month. Now what you're doing is you're telling the universe exactly what you want. Now you have to figure out how can you get 160 people, because imagine that as your offer, Nicholas. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, here's my opportunity. I want 160 people where I can put into a container for every single month for the next 12 months. Now, granted, there is a cost associated with it, because when you pay attention. But here's what I'm going to do for only $350 a month is I'm going to bring in every single week one of the world's best experts on biohacking, marketing, longevity, sales, stocks, crypto, finance, futures, for whatever. You just go down this list, and you're going to get access to incredible human beings that make more than $1 million a year, so that we can all learn how to do that. So you get me, you get Taylor Welch, you get Andre, you get all the boys, the squads, people that really care about you. Is that worth $350 to 160 people? And the answer is, of course it is.
And that's assuming I never raise the price on that.
Or get more people.
Yeah, we can go up in multiple ways here.
Nicholas, at $350 a month, that's $70,000 a month. Can't even imagine that much. You can't even spend that money, dude.
Yeah.
You could even spend $70,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
So what's remarkable about that is it's extreme clarity, because if you become true to your word and you do what, because this has been my marketing, I accidentally did this my whole life. When I first started Real Life Trading, which became the third largest stock market education company on planet Earth, I did it from a way of, hey, everyone, I want 35 people in this thing. At the time, it was God, bro, this is like 2013, 2012. It was an app called, they're not even around, Group Me. Have you heard of Skype?
Yeah, of course.
Like Skype, dude. It's like, so Group Me was this horrendous app where you could only put 35 people on it. And I was like, all right, well, that's the max. Who wants to hang out and day trade with me every single month? I need 35 people. And that's it. That's all it's going to be. And I posted on Facebook and messaged a bunch of people, went on YouTube and sent a bunch of emails. I was like, hey, do you want a day trade with me? Hey, this is what I'm going to offer. And over 2 or 3 months, I got 35 people in. And then they would tell their friends, they would tell their buddies, hey man, this Newsome guy's really cool. He shows up every single day. I made a couple $100 today. How cool is that? Blah, 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 blah. And so more people want to join. But guess what happened? They can't. Why? Well, number one, the app was limited. Number two, I said there's only 35 people. I kept it exclusive for like a year. Then when I opened it up, I was like, all right, 100 people, that's it. I filled up 100 people in an hour and a half. The 101st person who paid me, I refunded their money. I turned them away. I turned away business. I didn't increase it. In fact, I had to figure out a way to shut the payment processor off. And after I shut it off, I refunded like two or three people. I said, hey, sorry, I love you so much, but you were the 101st person. I only said 100 people, so I gave you your money back. And they're like, but please, please, please. I was like, sorry, dude. But that's called integrity. Guess what most marketers do not have? Integrity. Yeah. They say, this webinar is going to fill out. I never say that shit. It's a fucking webinar. What are you talking about? 1,000 people can be on this webinar. It's not sold out, you dickbag. Just you can accept however many people you want to accept. That's fine. But tell people, listen, my product is going to close on this day. I would love to have 100 people. I think that'd be amazing. I want to generate 100 people, more money, more wealth, more time, more opportunity. The webinar is wide open. Please join. However, I will only be at this webinar for an hour. This is a live webinar. And at 5:00 p.m., I'm out. Say the things that are true. Speak truth to people. That's what created my entire business and became very, very widely successful because I had thousands and thousands of people that wanted to end up working with me over time. And I created very, tight-knit group containers for people because I was just truthful with them. Hey, dude, I love money. I would love to make money with you. I would love for you to make money. I would love for me to make money. Can we all do that together? Is that okay? I'll protect you. I'll care for you. I'll love on you, and I'll help you if you need it. Like, what a message. Like that was my marketing.
Yeah.
And it worked. So to you, Brent, that's what I would do. It's like I would just focus on your $350 offer. I wouldn't do the one-on-one coaching yet. You can still have it available.
Yeah.
But you just focus on this community and make this community so good. Whatever the specialty is, it doesn't matter. Hey, we're going to go tackle Facebook. We're going to go tackle Twitter. We're going to go tackle whatever it is that your specialty is. We're going to do this really, really well. That will create massive opulence for you, my.
Yeah. No, I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, the one-to-one, honestly, is like, it was born out of some people just wanted to work one-on-one with me. Like, what does that look like? And I was like, okay, cool. And I do have some debt I want to pay off. So I was like, oh, yeah, this makes sense for where I'm at to take some check. No, I really, really appreciate that, man. I'm sure you've heard this a bunch, but your energy is like very electric.
Thanks, man.
It's super contagious.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, a couple of things. Like even today, I had a situation where just a bit of a small obstacle with finances and stuff, and I was like, "That's okay. Like these things happen. We'll see how it goes." And like now, on the flip side, it's like because I didn't let that get me down, I have a super present conversation with Jerremy, who's amazing, and that to me is worth far more than worrying about a tiny little blip in the map. Second thing I want to say is it's funny how much of an energetic match you become for everything in your life. Like when you said the integrity piece. Something that I kept running into was I would get these marketing jobs with these big names in the industry. And this isn't to talk down on anybody's character or anything like that. But when I'd get in, it was shocking to me how little they cared about the students and how it just became about like this pure math equation on their end. Change. They didn't care whether the contract protected their clients. They cared about whether the contract protected themselves. It didn't matter if they were stretching the truth or lying in the ads. They just need to pour more people in and dump more money into Facebook ads. And I kept thinking like, why am I running into this? Like, why do I keep running into these people? And part of the lesson was like, if I have integrity, I need to go out there and share it with people.
Yes. And hold to your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I just do not work with people to do that. Mm-hmm. So how many JVs and affiliates people want to do with me?
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Dude, all the time, right? All the time. And I'm like, no. No, because you're a liar. I don't work with people that lie. Like here's a Facebook post where you said that this webinar is limited. It's not limited, dude. Like anyone can go to a webinar. What are you talking? Like you're just trying to create scarcity. I get it. Scarcity is a power. I understand. Speak truth to people to the best of your ability, right? To whatever is meaningful and whatever is impactful, and whatever is actually going on in your life. That's what people want and need. That's what people resonate with. Truth is my identity. That's right. One of my tattoos. Because you can't see on that. There it is. Anyway, Satnam. Satnam. So truth is my identity. It's like namaste, just a different type of yoga. It's Kundalini yoga. So you do more breathing, more breath work, and you hold poses for longer periods of time. Regardless of that, man, the beauty is for anyone who's watching this, in any form, in any job, in any creation that you're providing to the universe, to the world, to the companies, to the planet, just do it in a place of truth and honesty. That's going to bring so much more happiness and joy and credibility to you when you actually pour in value to the world. When I was at Nationwide Insurance, and again, the story of losing $1.2 million. So I took my 9,000 and turned it into 30,000 in like 3 or 4 months straight in the stock market. And again, the way I did it, it's very easy math, right? I took 9,000 into 12. I took 12,000. I just rebought the stock at $9 and sold it at 12 again. And just did that a couple times. It compounds quickly. So 9 into 30. I showed my dad. Oh my God. My dad gave me 100 grand, $105,316 actually. That's all the money he had. And I took that and turned it into 130. Do the exact same thing. I took all the money, bought one stock with it. Stock would go up 10, 15%. I would sell it, reinvest the proceeds. I mean, it's simple math. He was blown away, flabbergasted. So he goes and calls 3 of his buddies, and they give me their $100,000. And so there I am at late 19, early 20, trading up $400,000 of other people's money. This is financial advice, by the way. Don't do that. Financial advice. Do not do that. That's illegal and is bad, and it doesn't end well for me. All right. So I take 400,000 in the same process, dude. I'm trading other people's money and I'm buying the same flipping stock, and the stock, yes, is going up, and I'm just reinvesting and 400,000 turns into 1.2 million in less than a year. I mean, it didn't hurt that the stock tripled in value, right? May of 2011, I started learning about options, which I hadn't really done before. And I started buying options. And anyway, I bought a bunch of call options at the very, very top of the silver bubble in 2011. And I lost all of it. Now, here's the part that I want to bring up. I called each one. Now, yes, I had to be blackout drunk to have the courage to call them. I went to Daytona Beach, got blackout, sue me. Okay. Drank like 3 pitchers of beer and a couple of shots of Jaeger and some tequila. Blackout drunk. I call these guys, including my dad, and I'm like, hey, I lost all of your money. I'm really sorry. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay back with interest. I'm going to pay back 20% interest, and I'm going to write a contract up, and it's going to take me 10 years. And I'm going to pay you every single month. And I'm sorry. That's what I did. I created a contract. I wrote up and I was like, I'm going to pay you back. And the math I did was, okay, $400,000. I'm not going to pay back their high watermark. I'm not going to pay back their money. I'm going to pay back what they invested. So I took $400,000 and I was like, 20% return is $480,000 over the next 10 years. So 10 divided by 12, $4,000 per month, $48,000 a year, 10 years, $480,000, simple interest. So that's what I did. I just got on a payment plan and $4,000 a month. And so then my question in my life became, how can I make $6,000 a month? That was a question I asked myself every single day. Now I had a job. How do I make $6,000 a month? Now at the time, I didn't know any other answer other than work your fucking face off, dude. Got it. 90-hour weeks. Let's go. Start making $6,000 a month. Riddle me. Fun fact. If you work 90 hours a week, you get what's called double overtime. Incredible. It's pretty baller. So I started making $6,000. I was paying back $4,000, and then the other $2,000 was for my living expenses. Well, after I did that for 2 or 3 months, I was like, well, shoot. If I can make $6,000, can I make $10,000? And so I had to become more efficient now because I was maxing out my time. So I had to learn how to become more efficient on the phone. And what I started doing is calling clients and just having conversations about their policy. And this comes up to like sales and integrity, is I just started asking them questions like, hey, my name is Jerremy Newsome from Nationwide Insurance. I want to give you a call and review your policy. Do you know what you're paying for? And most people are like, I have no idea. I've never had anyone go through it with me. I was like, okay, well, let's just go through your policy and just see what you got. And I would just inform them, do you know what comprehensive insurance is? Do you know what collision insurance is? Do you know what like uninsured motorist is? Like you're paying for rental coverage. Have you ever used rental coverage? Like I'm just going through the policies. And bro, I was an absolute machine. I was doing really well and brought in a lot of good business for a lot of good people. Saying all of that to say, I was doing it from a place of this is where I'm at in life. This is where I want to go. This is who I am, what I'm doing. How can we make this work?
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept chipping ahead. Everyone at work knew I needed to make $10,000 a month. I told most people why. I just worked out, man. You know, and I eventually ended up quitting my job at Nationwide. I worked there for 6 years to pursue the stock market and trading full time. And it was a place of just understanding that, again, back to what you said earlier, having a crystal clear, this is how much I need to make. This is why. And more importantly, here's exactly what I'm going to do with the money. And once I knew that, and I became very, very clear of that, it allowed me to actually achieve it.
Dude, I love that. That's amazing. How long did it end up, before I'll wrap up here in a second, how long did it end up taking you to pay everybody back?
About 4.5 years. I paid my dad back earlier, paid him back first, because a few months later, he ends up getting diagnosed with prostate cancer and tells me he only has 2 years to live. So it was a fucking mess, bro. My 20s sucked. Yeah. 20 to 27 were god awful. But you know, I made it. I'm out on the other side now. But it was a very big learning experience for me. So I paid back my dad first, and then I paid everyone back later. And then when my dad was dying, this is the whole other crazy part of the story. He told me to obviously take care of my mother, who I retired my mom. You know, she works if she wants to. She gardens when she wants to. I just bought her a house a couple of weeks ago. Another one, a third one. She likes to bounce around to different places. And again, it's not like an opulent house. It's a nice, normal house. But that's what she wants. I told her she can have whatever she wants. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Like it's a normal house. But my dad, yeah, that was his instructions. Like I was paying him back. He's like, listen, I'm going to die soon. Like, what do I need money for? Go take care of your mom. Anyway, saying all that to say, yeah, man, yeah, it took about 4 to 5 years to get everyone settled and get everyone paid out. And that was when I was about 20, 25, almost 26.
Jeremy, I really appreciate your time. I know you got another meeting, and I got another meeting in a little bit, but this was absolutely incredible. I'll send you all the clips when I get them up, and when I post a full episode. I really, really appreciate your time. This is electric. You mean the world to me, and your wisdom is very much appreciated. Thank you, Smith. If there's anything we want to say before we go, it's all yours.
Appreciate you reaching out, man. Thanks for having the courage. Thanks for stepping out of your comfort zone, being big, being bold, being bright, being beautiful. You're a great man. And for all the listeners, for everyone watching or listening, thank you so much. And we hope we were able to add massive value into your life today.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody, I'll talk to you later. Peace out if you're watching this.